Everybody to I Got Next. It is the Week 13 NFL. It's our Sunday show. We already did our little Thursday night football thing, but this is where it gets really real. We got the live chat kicking every Sunday morning, and AG has all the prop bets for you. I have my little bets on the dog catcher, but we're gonna live and die here in the meat of this schedule where it's finally starting to get kind of crazy where playoff positioning is starting to play a role. Some players are getting banged up. Some players are kind of tapping out, checking out for the season. You're already seeing some of that. So now it's time to start looking at some of these guys who've been backups all year. They're starting to rise, and that cream is starting to rise to the top. And so AG, it's a different part of the season when it comes to these player props because it's not just the names that we all talked about in August leading up into the start of the season, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few games on the board even this week where it's just like that's a no bet just based on injuries.
Right, exactly.
You know, just based on who's going to be coming out to the field, or we don't know who's going to be out on the field, or we don't know how long they're going to be on the field if they are on the field. Where it's just like I'm not even looking that way. Like for example, the Bears Packers game, I'm good. Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers want to be as tough as they can, tough as nails.
Right.
I respect it. I'm cool with that. But I'm not about to get caught with that being the last leg in one of my parlays, or that being one of my 1 unit, 2 unit player props here. I'm not getting caught doing that when they can both be out by the end of the first quarter after their first hits. Like, you know,
Right.
I mean, that's the case in any game. But what I'm saying is like it's likely in this case. So I'm all the way off that. I'm good on it, man.
Yeah. Well, I would say though, a mild exception, I guess, would be like Christian Watson doesn't seem like a bad play at this point for a couple of things because whoever's at quarterback, he's getting his what does he have? 6 touchdowns in the last 3 games. It's kind of wild
crazy
how he has just come out of nowhere and started to finally show the promise that they drafted him for. So, but yeah, it's that time of season. So now is the time to kind of recalibrate and refigure out, okay, who are we actually going to ride with now going forward? And the same thing goes for your fantasy lineups. You know, a lot of the guys who you've been riding these first 12 weeks, you need to dump that and move on to the thing because it's not about what is the old stock market mantra. You know, past results are not our past performance is no guarantee of future results. That's exactly the same thing we got going here. So be careful and let's start to realign and recalibrate with what the future of the NFL looks like for weeks 13 through 17 and or 18, I guess.
Yeah.
Now we play 18
now.
weeks. Yeah. What the hell? You saw how they pulled that off. They just like slid that little thing in there. They've been squabbling over that in the collective bargaining agreement for years, and now here we are. So let's get into it. Let's get into our first games here. We've got the NFL slate pulled up here. So first on the list is this doozy with the Jets and the Vikings. Raise your hand if you thought we'd be talking about the Jets versus the Vikings as one of the biggest playoff implications games of the season here in Week 13. I didn't see this coming, but here we are. The Jets defense has been playing out of their minds, and now they've made a change at quarterback. What do you see in here with this one, AG? Because I think Minnesota with Kirk Cousins not playing in prime time, and he's even played well in prime time here recently. I think Minnesota should take care of this, but the Jets are a little more intriguing now with Zach Wilson not in the lineup.
There's a few things that I'm looking for here, right, in this game, where I actually don't have any official plays on it for a reason, and that's because I'm kind of just I want to watch this game, and it'll tell me a lot about 2 units in specific: the Vikings offense and the Jets defense. That's what I'm looking for. I know what I'm getting out of the Vikings defense. They're terrible. I know what I'm getting out of the Jets offense. They're not great. They're better without Zach Wilson in there, but Mike White isn't the answer for them. It's not like that's the future plan or anything like that. And I had a Jets fan on yesterday on our channel. So if you want a full Jets Vikings synopsis, we did like 20-25 minutes on it. That's on the channel right now. So when we get off here, feel free to jump to that and check it out. Because we did give away a couple plays like that we were thinking we would like. Tyler Conklin was one of them. Zonovan Knight getting the starting carries for the Jets. And you look at it like the Jets offense should have some success against this Vikings defense. And you would think the Vikings are going to put up some points too, but we'll see. That's kind of the test that I'm waiting to find out about. But
Right.
to me, the over 44.5 looks decent to me. Because I think the Jets will be able to put up 20. And I see the Vikings probably winning this. Maybe a 27-20 game that hits the over. That also has a Vikings cover. I'm not backing these as official plays, but I'm throwing it out there. I think it would be a good idea. I'm definitely leaning that way. But yeah, man, I'm excited to just see how Kirk Cousins and this offense does, because they're powerful, man. They have so much talent across the board that it's like, it's hard to bet against them. So I don't want to bet against them because it's the Jets defense. Jets defense looks amazing, but they've also played the Patriots twice, the Bears, the plethora of backup or third string quarterbacks that they started their season with for the first 7 weeks. They beat Josh Allen banged up, but he played at least. Or they banged him up actually. So they beat Josh Allen fair and square. But yeah, I don't want to take anything away from the Jets defense because they've been playing lights out, but like they haven't really played an offense like the Vikings besides when they played the Bills like that. But that's one game. I need to see it more times is what I'm getting at. So I do think Justin Jefferson will have a day. I do think Dalvin Cook might have some success in the run game. I do think Kirk Cousins will show up and play well. I think they should be able to win this game, but I don't think they'll dominate it. So I'm very, very interested to see how this Jets defense holds up here.
Yeah, and just to give you an idea of what we're looking at. So you want to go Justin Jefferson 100 plus yards, you're only getting plus 162. So like this stuff is juiced up already. His official line is 85.5 yards. And so it's just like, man, that's like he could have a really good day. He could have 81, 7 catches for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns, and you miss if that's the only part of this that you play. So it's to the point at this point in the season where those numbers are so juiced. And I really like Justin Jefferson more in a game where I look at it, I'm like, okay, he's just going to torch this guy, or the Vikings offense has to go through him because the defense they're playing against is going to take everything else away. And I don't know. I think there's enough opportunities for other guys on the field that I expect him to have a day. I'm just not going to be betting it because the juice is too much.
Yeah, and like you said, there is other guys on the field, plenty of options, especially for the Vikings offense, plenty of options.
Right.
But their numbers are a little high too. I think Dalvin Cook was around 70. I don't know if he's going to get enough touches to get 70. They might try to attack the air. The air attack's been working. TJ Hawkinson's at like 44.5. He's been like a kind of around there, but on a lot of targets and a lot of catches. So I don't really trust him to get all the yards, no matter how many targets he gets. So yeah, I'm staying off of that stuff. If I'm gonna bet anything here, it's gonna be on the Jets side of the ball, probably, just because I know what I'm getting out of that Vikings defense, which is not a great performance. We saw what Mac Jones was able to do. I'm sure Mike White can have some success, but I kind of lean away from that because Mike White just had a ton of success against that Bears defense, and I don't know if he can do that 2 times in a row with that much precision and efficiency and whatnot. So it's a no bet for me overall. I lean the over. I lean the Vikings getting the job done here at home. And I'm just really excited to watch that offensive unit for the Vikings go up against this Jets defense. It'll tell me a lot about both teams and what both teams are capable of going forward.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm with you on that. I feel the same way that this is a lean, but it's not anything where I'm willing to put my own money at stake on it. Because I can't trust either side of that. You never know when Mr. Hyde version of Kirk Cousins is going to show up, and it could go south really fast. And like I said, the juice is so high on all those Vikings offensive players that's going to be a real bad beat.
And like we always say about like when the numbers are too high, that like Justin Jefferson isn't a guy you take an under on, no matter what matchup you're feeling, or you know what I mean. So it's like there's some guys where it's like, oh, this is a bad matchup, we're going on an under. No, this is a stay away. I'm not, because Justin Jefferson can go out for 150. Actually, in fact, the last time that I stayed away because of the number being a little high and I didn't like the matchup, I'm pretty sure he had like 150 that game and 2 touchdowns or something.
Yeah.
So,
and that's fine. And
don't take the under. I'm just staying away personally.
Yeah, that's fine. Like if he goes off for 150 and 2 touchdowns in somebody else's parlay, more power to them. But you don't need to necessarily bet against him. just stay away. Sometimes that's the best approach. All right, so moving right along, we got Denver at Baltimore. This is one that's the opposite of that Vikings Jets game. Back in August, I bet everybody was looking at this as like, oh, this is going to be a marquee matchup. Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson. Now it's just like, and look at that. Just look at that line. 9.5 points. Gee whiz, man. This is but the thing is, it's probably not that bad because I don't know that the Broncos can score 9.5 points. So that means that all Baltimore has to do is go out there and score like 18, 19, 20 points, and they've got this cover in the bag. So what do you see here, if anything? I think we've started to see Lamar Jackson take matters into his own hands a little bit more here recently, and now that he's got Mark Andrews back, like there's some stuff starting to come into form for him, and you saw a little bit in the run game with Gus Edwards back healthy last week. What are we looking at today, AG?
Well, yeah, you mentioned Mark Andrews, you mentioned Gus Edwards. I think those two guys are going to be a big proponents of this Ravens offense. But I mean, it's kind of another situation similar to the last game we talked about, where this Broncos defense has been absolutely amazing for the most part, and this Ravens offense is struggling. Lamar's got nothing to throw to besides Mark Andrews. They're just not. They're not a good offense right now. They're getting better on defense, but a lot of their guys are older, so by the fourth quarter, they're allowing comebacks because they get tired. But by the fourth quarter, then they're not getting a pass rush because Calais Campbell's the only pass rusher that we have, and he's like 37. So by the fourth quarter, he's done. And yeah, I mean, so they've been struggling. I expect nothing out of this Broncos offense though. So I do have the Ravens in a teaser where I tease them to under a touchdown. So we'll get to that teaser a little later. But I did want to play Mark Andrews here a lot because I think Harbaugh sees it. Harbaugh's a really good coach. And I think he definitely probably made a point this week of like, get Andrews the ball because that's pretty much all we got right now. And I mean, he's a stud when he gets it. The problem is he's juiced the fuck up. Over 4.5 catches, minus 150. I ain't taking minus 150 hit for 5 catches. It's just not a smart play.
Yeah,
I've been getting hooked. Now. I've been getting hooked on these reception props for a while now, like all season. I was saying it on one of the shows I did, I think with Big Mike. If you look through my last like 3 years of betting, I kill on receivers props on receptions, not on the yards, but on the receptions. This year, I've been getting hooked almost every time I give one out. Oh, so I'm staying away from it. Maybe his yards is a better play. But then I went to Bet 365 because Bet 365 lets you ladder the catches. So I was building a ladder last night with Mark Andrews on catches, right? And then when it was time to go lock it in, they took the ladder away from Mark Andrews. They had the other 4 or 5 guys, and they didn't have his. So I'm checking right now to see if they maybe brought that back for me. Because if they did, I would do it. Oh, they did. Let's see what numbers we got. So yeah, on this they got 5 catches at minus 145, 6 catches at plus 150, 7 at plus 290. You know, like I might just go for the value with the half unit on plus 150 at 6, and then a half unit at plus 290 for 7.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. No, I like that, and I was actually looking at the same thing but because it's FanDuel here that I have pulled up, because for the audience to know, I don't have like everyone that AG calls out, like Bet 365, Points Bet, and all. You know, I don't have them all pulled up here because it would be a pain in the neck to try to pull all that stuff up here on the air. But I will say this: I can pull up and kind of do something similar with the yardage. So I'm looking at his yardage, and 58.5 is not bad as his official line. But I go down to his alt yards, and 70 yards is plus 142. 80 yards is plus 220, 90 is plus 320, 100 is plus 450. There's some interesting stuff there where I could see taking 60 yards at minus 112 and then go into the 70 at plus 142 and then just dropping that plus 320 on the 90 yards and just play with that and see what you can do the same kind of thing where it's like a unit on the official line, a half a unit and a quarter unit. And actually, because I think, to your point, the offense kind of goes through Lamar Jackson's legs and Mark Andrews' fingertips.
And Lamar's beat up a little bit.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's funny though, because he doesn't, but then his line is still at 58.5. And I'm going to ask you, Justin Jefferson style, you betting against that, or are
Nope.
you just going to stay away? So you see
Nope.
what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying.
He
He's
could take a 75-yarder on the first play to the house.
right.
I'm off that.
Exactly.
But dude,
That's
the
my
only reason
point.
I didn't go to Mark Andrews to juice up his yards
Yardage.
is just because how good the Broncos defense has been. They're
Mhm.
third in passing yards right now. Obviously, the Ravens haven't gotten much going, but Mark Andrews is the one that will get going, if anything.
Mhm.
And the reason I'm taking his receptions and that I like his receptions is quick throw game. You know, the quick game.
Yeah.
Like the
So
Broncos getting a lot of pressure.
lower
The
quality
Broncos,
volume, but more volume.
yeah, Broncos get a lot of pressure. Ravens, they're good at protecting it. The numbers say, but that's because Lamar Jackson runs away from it every time, right?
Yeah.
They get blown up sometimes, and especially against this Broncos front, I think it's possible. And then they're also first in yards per completion defensively. The Broncos are. So I'm looking at short, quick game, little hook routes and hot routes and things like that, little quick outs for Mark Andrews. I think that's going to be their target in the passing game because they got to get a passing game going at some point.
All right. So you got anything
Shout out to
official here,
Hump B.
or
He
is it
said,
just
"Today we
guess?
beaten FanDuels. Let's go." Yeah, no, I'm gonna play that Mark Andrews little ladder there.
Okay.
See what happens there.
All right. So this is one that I'm on. I don't know why it's showing locked. Let me refresh here to see if these locks go away, or if it's still going to be they're still going to be locking me out of showing that. Okay, there we go. So we're at Steelers. Oh, now the Steelers, it's flipped to -1. So the Steelers were actually 1.5 dogs earlier in the week in this game, and this is one of my dog catcher specials where I
And
was on the
Chad locked that
Steelers.
in.
Yeah, I was on the
Chad locked
Steelers.
that in on our early line show. That's why you got to make sure you're tuned into that because he locked that in for us, and then now they're favorites. So you should have locked it in then if you like the Steelers because now you get a point even if they lose.
So yeah, so I still like the Steelers in this one, although that -1 just makes it to where I'm not going to make as much money when they win if I'm betting today. But I still like them to win this game by a field goal or maybe even a touchdown. What do you see here?
No bet for me. But I mean, I like your Steelers pick though.
No, but I mean, do you have any props in this one or no?
Nah, man, no way
Nothing
I'm touching
here?
this one.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it probably would have been like a Najee Harris play maybe or something, but I mean, yeah, this is a no bet for me in terms of props. There's nothing to love here. You know what I mean?
All right. So
Like, there's some matchups we could take advantage of, but do I trust anybody that to take advantage of them? I don't know. If anything, maybe Steelers passing game though too. George Pickens, he's been on fire. But dude, good call on getting the Steelers early when they were dogs.
yeah,
I do like the Steelers in this game.
So I just threw this one out there as one because we always do one of these, and a couple of them have happened. What's up, Jay? A couple of these have happened in the same game. So I just pulled it up just to see. Najee Harris 2 touchdowns, Cordell Patterson 2 touchdowns in the same game, plus 72.60. I'm not saying take this, but if you do, $5 will win you $363, and I could see it happening. So that's it. AG, you back? There you are. All right.
What's
so
up, Jake?
you're not on anything on here.
What's up, Naaman?
What's up,
Nah,
Naaman?
man, I'm good in terms of props. This is just this is a game where like anybody can end up getting the yards or touchdowns, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I could try to put some brain power towards capping this, but I'll be honest, I didn't even try.
Well, and another one that I could see too is so let's pull that one up because I'm going. Sometimes when there's a play like this, or I'm in a game like this where I don't really like much of it, I'm looking at some of the stuff that's just like, okay, if I'm not like a big fan of any of this stuff where I'm playing straight up and it's a coin flip, because what I typically like to do is if the odds are giving me a coin flip, but I think it's more like 1 to 3 odds, I'm going to take that coin flip because I'm getting better than the pot, right? In this case, where there's nothing like where I like the coin flips, I'm going to look for something like, all right, what about George Pickens for 2 touchdowns? Because I go back and look at some of the games that big receivers have had against the Falcons. I go back to DJ Moore in that epic game where they went into overtime and everything. and Pickens is starting to come into his own. He's starting to, and he and Kenny Pickett have a chemistry there. That at plus 1,300, that's really nice. So like I got my eye on that. If we do one of these 2 touchdown scorer parlays across the board, because I think Pickens could have a day. So that's my only one because it's so juiced in our favor. What's up, Steph Colonel? The whole fam is coming out now. Where y'all been, man? We've been at it for like a half an hour already. And
hey, they're here now. They're here now.
Just wiping the crust out of your eyes to come and get your prop bets on. But no, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate the love. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, me too. I'm not gonna lie. We had a Christmas party last night, and it was a late night.
So one other thing I'll mention in this game. I'm not playing it personally, but in case anybody wants to take a stab at it, we do got plus money for Matthew Wright, the Steelers kicker, to hit 2 field goals. Plus 105 on BetMGM, plus 104 on Caesars. The Steelers are number 1 in field goal attempts, 7th in field goals made, and Atlanta allows the 20th most attempts, 22nd most makes. Obviously, the Steelers are kicking more field goals because they're not that good in the red zone. They're 27th. My hedge here, and the reason that you shouldn't put a ton of money, but if you like it, play it. I'm not playing it because Atlanta's defense is also not good in the red zone. They're 24th right now. They allow touchdowns 61% of the time. So and definitely I hear you. But they could get some field goals where they stall outside of the red zone. So I think it's a good play. I'm not playing it personally, but I would lean that way.
No, I like it. And the other thing is too, you could look. I tried to pull it up to see if we could get a points prop for kicking prop, but they don't have it here on FanDuel. So all right. So this next one, I think also falls into that category of nobody expected this to be the type of matchup that it has turned out to be. Oh, you had one too. Naaman had a Christmas party last night too, and that's what I'm talking about. That's how it was, man. Look, it's when there's free food and beverages flowing, I'm going to take advantage of the generosity of the hosts of the party. So I show my appreciation by eating and drinking as much as I can. So it was a good party last night. But yeah, so let's get into this Jacksonville Detroit game, because this is one where like both of these teams have gone toe to toe. Like Detroit almost came back and beat Philadelphia way back when. We've almost forgotten it at this point, but that was like week 1, week 2. Jacksonville knocks off the Ravens. I'm sorry, AG, last week.
Don't matter to me. I didn't bet on him.
And man, acts like he's not a Ravens fan when it's.
I'm a Ravens fan, but I value. I'm not gonna let that affect my emotions. Especially if I'm over here gambling. Like I'm gonna let my money. Right. I'm gonna worry about my money first.
I got you.
And I said from the start in the beginning of the season that the Ravens are going to be mediocre this year. We're probably the worst 7-4 team. We're the Giants of the AFC. So I'm not expecting much anyway.
Fair enough. Except that I think having the playmaker as Saquon Barkley instead of Lamar Jackson, I give my edge to the Ravens in that regard. If I'm looking at the Giants and the Ravens as kind of mirror images of each other in each conference, I'm going with the Ravens because at least the quarterback having the ball in his hands and being the superstar is better than having. All due respect to Saquon Barkley, but he needs a little help at the quarterback position. Daniel Jones is he's like a weird hybrid between Kirk Cousins and Josh Allen, where like he could be the best of either of those or the worst of either of those on any given Sunday, and that's the dice you're rolling. So this game, the line on this one's
Josh Allen
crazy.
today. I'm on the Giants.
Right. The Lions were actually favorites to open. Then it flipped, and the Jaguars were the favorite in this game, and now it's back to the Lions are a 1.5 point favorite. This was another one of those dog catcher specials that I was looking at when the line flipped to Detroit being a dog at home. I'm on Detroit for this game, but I just don't know if at this point if it's worth it, just because instead of getting plus money, now you're on the negative side of it. And I could see this thing going either way because both of these teams have shown that they can neither they can play up to or down to their competition and lose a game that you're just like, what the hell happened? Or in last week's case, knock off the Ravens.
I had a few plays in this actually. So
let's see it.
There's a lot of matchup. Like this feels like a shootout to me. Both defenses not too good. Both offenses we've seen can put up points, can put together great drives. So the Lions, they're going to have success through the air on the run game. So are the Jags. But I'm targeting the Jags here for the props just because we're getting good numbers on them. The numbers on the Lions I didn't really love. But Trevor Lawrence over 22.5 passing attempts, -110 on BetMGM. Let me make sure that that's still the best odds we can get real quick. I'm going to take that, though. He's cashed this in 7 out of 11 games, and one was 22, so right on the hook. So it could easily be 8 out of 11. This is also cashed in 7 out of 11 versus the Lions. And
so what did you say? What is it? What's the attempts number you're looking at?
Completions, my bad, not attempts.
Oh, I was like
22.5 completions.
Okay, completions, 22.5. Yeah, 22.5 at -130 on FanDuel. And what did you say you had it on?
I'm checking right now to see what I got it better
okay.
at.
To answer your question, Naaman, the underdog
-105 on BetMGM.
Okay. Oh yeah, then you definitely want to go BetMGM. That's 25 tenths of a unit. That's big time. The Jags are the dog in this game, so it has flipped back to Detroit being a 1.5 point favorite. So hope that answers your question.
But yeah,
who's the actual underdog in this game? Shit, I don't know. This is a pick'em game right now.
So yeah, Trevor Lawrence is averaging 35 pass attempts per game, so I think he can hit 23 there. They're 13th in passing yards. Obviously, I talked about the line. Well, we all know about the Lions defense, 29th in passing yards right now. The Jags don't give up any sacks, and the Lions don't get any sacks. So I see Trevor Lawrence having some time back there to nickel and dime them. And he's cashed 25 plus completions in each of his last 3 games with a 77% completion percentage over that span. He's clearly coming into his own a little bit in this Doug Peterson offense here. So yeah, I think he's going to nickel and dime this Lions defense as so many have this season. You also have the ETN effect coming off injury. They could look to the pass game a little more, try to save him a little bit, get him carries and everything. Obviously, like it's not like just going to not use the run game, but I think they might favor the pass game a little bit, especially if they're having success doing it. And also another good point is that the Jags defense isn't good either. So you're looking at a situation where there might be a lot of quick drives, quick scores, and a lot of possessions.
Yeah,
so,
and
obviously
a lot
more
of
possessions, more chances for Trevor Lawrence.
Right, and a lot of keeping up with the Joneses too. Like if you're getting touchdowns hung on you, you got to come back and there that also lends itself to there might be some 4th down conversion attempts where you get to extend some drives here and there. So yeah, I could see it that way too.
Yeah, so I got a unit on that, and I'm on Christian Kirk too, so I think he'll be getting Christian Kirk to rock a lot. And here's the play. So we're gonna do 2 units total on Christian Kirk here. 1 unit's going to be an anytime touchdown at +130. 1 unit to win 1.3 units, obviously. And then the next play with the other unit is going to be 100 yards and a touchdown, +543.
Okay.
I think he can easily hit that. And that's 1 unit to win 5.43 units, obviously. Now, if you want to get really freaky, this is up to you. I'm not recommending it, but I'm just saying I am probably going to play this just in case with like at least $1 or $2 or something. 100 yards and 2 touchdowns is +1855. If he gets 2 touchdowns, he's probably hitting 100 yards. So I mean, it's not a bad bet. But obviously you're asking for a lot. You need the 2 touchdowns. So, but it's +1855.
Yeah, 100 and a touch is +540 on FanDuel right now. And let's pull that, and we'll go to the 2 touches, and yeah, we're at +2,000. What did you say you had? Or was yours on FanDuel?
With 2 touchdowns and 100, it was +1855 last night. I didn't lock it in though. So what is it now?
+2,000. +2,000. Let's go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking
about. I'm not. I don't know. I mean, should I play that? I don't know. What do you think? Should I do a half unit on the one?
No, I like it. Look, this is my jam. My jam is the low probability but high reward type of stuff on this. There's some times where I'm going to look at very specific stuff and I'm going to go on those coin flip type plays. But I really like to leverage when I think it's more like an 8-1 odds, and they're giving me 20-1, yeah, give me that. Because if I do that enough times, and I'm actually right about what the odds should be, then I'm gonna make money over the course of making. If I make 5 of these and I hit one of them, I already quadrupled my money. So
Yeah. So all right. Well,
same
all right.
here,
You
Jay.
convinced me. You convinced me. I'm on it.
All right, I like it.
So we're
Like I
gonna
said,
do. I mean, that still works out because that's a half unit to win 10.
well, and the other thing I
The two
like about
touchdowns
it
play.
too is
Like,
this
that's
is
great.
not. I don't think we've played Christian Kirk all year, and it's about time. We talked about it at the top of the show. It's time to start shifting our focus into some of these guys who are starting to like really blossom and come into their own. George Pickens, Christian Kirk, like some of these guys,
Trevor
some of these
Lawrence.
young receivers, Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah.
some of these young receivers and young quarterbacks. It's time for them to start to step into, and this is where, if I'm an NFL franchise and I'm like the Steelers, like the Lions, like the Jaguars, I'm going to start trying to see some of these pieces that I have, these young pieces, who can get the job done, and who do I need to look at possibly replacing in the draft or in free agency in the offseason, because that's where the teams that aren't positioning for the playoffs, they're doing that. They're either doing evaluations or they're starting to, give people opportunities so that they can kind of get that experience.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so to be clear, and it's funny you mentioned like getting to the new guys. We do have an old friend coming up when we get to a certain game. I'll give you guys that hint real quick. Chad might know who I'm talking about already.
Mhm.
He's a very good friend to us in this betting
Okay.
show.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has a good matchup. Are you getting where I'm going now? But just to be clear on this Christian Kirk, since I switched it up here midway, yeah, I guess I should do this because if he does get the 2 and the 100 yards, I'm going to be mad if I didn't count that.
Yeah.
So anytime touchdown. So if he gets 1, we're at 1 unit to win 1.3. So if he gets 1, we're only risking another unit on the other 2 plays. So if he gets the touchdown on the first drive of the game, we're at least netting 0.3 units on Christian Kirk. So I'm risking the other unit, a half on 100 yards and a touchdown at plus 543. Or what is it, 540 now? I'll be fair, 540. And then 100 yards and 2 touchdowns with another half unit, plus 2,000, half unit to win 10 right there. That would be lovely.
All right, so check it out. I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but I pulled it up just because I wanted to see. Like we do this every week, where we try to come up with a double, 2 touchdowns from 2 different guys. Christian Kirk and George Pickens is plus 11,100. $5 will win you 555. I'm just throwing that out there. If you want to throw it at it, I won't be mad at you, because that's some serious scratch. Hell, I might be able to get my my FanDuel account to where it's respectable again. I took some bad beats. I made the mistake of betting LSU the last 2 weeks. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But
You brought it
anyway,
up.
it
No,
didn't go well. It didn't go well the last couple of weeks.
Yo, let's do that. Let's
Don't
do
bet
that,
your
bro.
team.
I
Don't bet your favorite
like
team.
big Pickens, bro. I
Drop a
ride with you.
drop a quarter unit on Kirk and Pickens for
Drop a
2
quarter
touchdowns
unit.
apiece.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot riding on Kirk now. He better show up.
There you go. So all right, so I think I know where you're going with this one. Is this where we're going? Is this the friend of the show that we've been talking about? Is it Derrick Henry?
Our good old buddy. I think it's time to revisit.
All right. I'm listening. I'm down. I actually
think it's
think this
time
is
to
a
revisit
spot where
here.
the Eagles could actually drop another one. This is one of those matchups where I could see, and we're starting to see, and I've been listen. You know me, I'm the Eagles' number 1 hater this year. I have been plotting their demise since they started off like 4-0. And I don't want to try to be like a complete jerk about it, because I know we got some Philly people, AG's up there in PA area, like New Jersey's got some family in PA and all that stuff. But I'll say this. Like, I think that what we have seen so far is the Eagles playing a really, really weak, easy schedule. and they have benefited tremendously from that. And now that they've finally started to play some legitimate competition, you've seen that the spreads are tightening up. It's getting a little tougher. Jalen Hurts isn't lighting the world on fire anymore like he was before. He's relying a lot, like he was in some games that people weren't willing to admit, but I was seeing it. Miles Sanders is carrying the load, and he's got some really good receivers that he's throwing to too. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. There's some weapons that a lot of other quarterbacks would love to have, and that defense has been carrying them too. And now that the defense is having to carry a lot more of the load because the Eagles offense is getting a little bit less efficient as the weeks go by and the competition stiffens up. This is a really interesting trap here because it's a midday game. You don't have all that, primetime hype because they've played multiple primetime games this year at home where they've gotten the benefit of that and the crowd and that lit atmosphere. Tennessee is playing some really good football, and they tend to be kind of Jekyll and Hyde. But when they can get our good old friend Derrick Henry going, they're a tough cookie. So what do you got here, AG? Because I like the fact that we're just talking about going back to the Derrick Henry well again.
Yeah, well, to your point about the efficiency too, real quick before we get to Derrick Henry, that's you got to think about what point of the season we're in right now too. The Eagles came out with a very, very, very good scheme and how to use AJ Brown and Devontae Smith in that offense with Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts running the ball and Dallas Goedert. One, they don't have Dallas Goedert right now. Two, the other issue is the defenses got film now on that exact offense. They watched film from the past 7 weeks. They know exactly what the Eagles want to do. You've seen the same thing happen with Saquon Barkley and the Giants. First couple weeks, Saquon looks like he's going to be MVP or something, right? Everybody's saying, "Oh, comeback player of the year." What's he done the last 3 weeks? Because now defenses have film. They're in the film room saying, "This is how we stop Dable's fantastic offensive scheme." It's a fantastic scheme. That's how you stop it, though, right there. You've seen the same thing with the Bills slowing down a little bit. That's just how it works. You can't expect the Eagles to be that efficient offensively the entire season because now there's film on what they were doing.
And they're not playing. So listen to their.
Well, that too. I agree with that too. Yes.
Detroit. Now Minnesota was a tough one. They beat the brakes off.
But their defense sucks.
Right.
That's the issue.
Exactly. Minnesota's defense is terrible. Yes. So Detroit, Washington, Jacksonville, Arizona. They beat Dallas, but that was with Cooper Rush at quarterback. Okay.
And it was Washington with Carson Wentz.
Right. Pittsburgh, Houston. They took the L. Got beat bad by Washington at home on a Monday night. Then you got Indianapolis
that time.
Right. Indianapolis. Yeah. And it was. Yeah. Heineke played like a boss.
It was once the first time. Yeah.
It's the one when Heineke got hit on that play where he like slid and they hit him or whatever it was, or he took a knee and they hit him
for the win. Yeah.
Yeah, for the win. And he just
got him celebrating like he scored the touchdown. So he just got I mean, I respect it though. He got a big time win there. But
yeah, for real. But anyway, you see what I'm saying? Like now we're getting into the thick of the schedule where it's like they got the Giants twice coming up. They got Tennessee this weekend. They got Dallas. So it's going to get a little bit tougher, and you're going to have to actually come to play. So anyway, we'll see. So what do you got here with? Because I'm with you. Like they got film, the competition's stiffening a little bit, and on top of that, you have now we're getting into that playoff positioning mode where you're going to see like the legitimate playoff teams. They're going to come out and they're going to do whatever they need to do. In a lot of cases, it's just exploiting matchups. We see it all the time. When you get to this point in the season, okay, yeah, we may have all these different weapons and all these different things that we've been trying to do this year, but now it's nitty-gritty time. I'm posting up Derrick Henry on the block, and I'm just letting him go to work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to try and get everybody else involved when Derrick Henry on his own can hang 150 and 2 touchdowns on these guys.
Yeah, speaking of the matchups and how you really just attack matchups when you're getting to the nitty gritty here. couple good on good matchups that we have in this game. I think it's going to be a fantastic game to watch. Eagles are first in takeaways defensively. Titans offense, 7th in turnovers. Ryan Tannehill, he's a game manager type of quarterback. He's going to take care of the ball. You don't see Derrick Henry fumble too often. And when he does, somebody lands on it for a touchdown.
No joke, right? Shout out to Treylon Burks.
Who wins that battle? Does the Eagles defense get a couple takeaways that their offense is going to need from them to win this game? You would think. I don't know how that goes. Eagles are 3rd in rushing yards, but the Titans defense is 3rd also. Who wins that? Eagles have some good passing matchups to attack if they need it. So that might be somewhere to look in terms of the Eagles side of the ball. Eagles offense 3rd in points per game. Titans defense 8th. They're stout on defense. Titans offense 5th in yards per completion. So they run the ball mostly, but when they throw, they're looking downfield. But the Eagles, they push everything in front of them. They're 3rd in pass completion. So, I don't know where to look in terms of that. In terms of Tannehill, like I don't want to go Treylon Burks because he's a big play receiver. So I'm staying off that. I think they favor the run game here probably. Eagles offense 10th in yards per rush, but the Titans defense 2nd in yards per rush. So is Miles Sanders going to have that kind of day that we've been accustomed to? And you said it when we started talking about this game. He's been carrying them a little bit. I guess what I'm basically saying is I kind of feel the Titans on this one. What's the spread at right now still?
4.5 and a plus 190 money line.
You said 3.5?
4.5.
4.5. Okay, so then you go down to the key number, which is key. So I like the Titans there in that case.
And 4.5, 4.5 also is at minus 106. So that's even better than normally. Like normally you'd see something like that. You'd be at plus 110, plus 115. So
yeah, and if you like the Titans,
minus 110, minus 115. So
and at that point, you're getting 4.5 at minus 106. If you like the Titans, if you like them enough to go up to the 3.5, do the alternate spread 3.5. What's that looking like, Chad? That's probably plus.
Yeah. Let me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely plus money. I just got to see how much it is. Where? Or it's gonna be down here.
But while he's looking for that, so this is where the game favors Tennessee here. Their run game. Eagles defense, they're 18th in rushing defense, yards allowed. And we've seen what mediocre to average run games can do to this Philly defense. Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson with the Commanders in that game we were just talking about. Chad, what's that number over there? What you got?
Plus 3.5 is plus 104.
Yeah, see, so if you like them enough to at least cover on the field goal, you don't even have to take a hook on a field goal game for plus money. I mean, that's a great value. I might go take that personally. I do like the Titans in this spot. But in Philly is my only pause for concern, or else I would probably be taking them money line. But anywho, we've seen what the running game against the Eagles have been able to do lately. And they're kind of deteriorating a little bit. They bulked up with some extra players, but they're all older guys. They can't play the full game snap counts. They're going to be subbing in and out and whatnot. I like Derrick Henry to just torture them. They're like 26th in tackling, I think, according to PFF, and they're in the bottom 7 in DVOA in terms of their running game. So yeah, I like Derrick Henry and the Titans to attack that on the Eagles side, just like the Commanders did. And obviously we saw they ended up with the win from doing it. Here's the plays, though. I've held out on you guys enough. We all know why. We all know Derrick Henry is a stud. I don't need to talk about it too much. 100 yards and a touchdown, 1 unit at plus 215.
100 and a touch. All right. Now, you know me. I'm gonna go for something a little bit spicier than that.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going there next.
Are you going there next? My man. All right. See, this is one of the beauties of this show is that a lot of people get together, they have a pre-production meeting and they talk about all this stuff and they talk about how they're going to go about this. Me and AG, we don't talk to each other. We just say, hey, when are we doing the show? Okay, that time. All right, let's go. And then we talk it all out here because that way you get to see the organic building of these parlays live, and we actually get to talk each other into and out of stuff. And it's kind of crazy like that because you get to see all that stuff like you're behind the scenes.
At the production meeting. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, me and Chad don't talk ever at all, like he said.
No, we
Just so
talk
you
all the
guys
time.
know, I want
We talk,
everybody to
we
know
talk
that
all the
I
time.
don't talk to Chad ever
Yeah,
unless we're live on air right now.
Yeah, that's right. Right. But we do text each other. But it's usually a bunch of quick hitting stuff or it's talking shit about something.
But yeah, so
bro,
the
did you
next
see
play
that?
I'm going with is 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Two
Another
touches.
unit on
All right.
that. I'm going
So we're
I'm going big on Derrick Henry, baby. Another unit on that.
So plus
650.
215, plus 215 on this one, and then so 2 touchdowns is going
Is
to
it
be
still plus 215?
Yep.
Cool. And then the other one I got plus 650 last night. So
plus 647. So we're close enough.
47. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll go. Hell yeah, we cashing out, baby. That's what we do, baby. So hey, listen, Derrick Henry hit us. Let me pull it up. Go ahead, Chad. You can talk a little bit, but I'm gonna pull up the exact plays that hit for Derrick Henry in that 1 week we took him against the Texans and how much money we made off him alone.
All right, so we did the I want to do this too because we did the Christian Kirk, George Pickens. So we got the young receiver parlay there. I want to look at
Chad, you saw Jay's comment? I just pulled it up.
No, what did he say? Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, it's he's picking the Eagles. I like the Titans in this one, so our pick is not the same. But yeah, Jay, the Lions is a concern.
Jay, that's why we don't need any pre-show production meeting or anything because I'm able to just wake up, brush my eyes out like Steph Colonel, and wait for Chad to talk, and then I just take the opposite pick, and that's how we cash out over here.
Hang on, let me just do this real quick. All right, so AG has been banned from the show now. We're not going to hear. Oh,
Chad
shit,
forgot. Chad must have forgot he gave me powers a while ago. I'm too powerful.
Oh shoot, man! But no, but so I just hope Jay is not on the Dolphins. We're going to get into that in a minute. But I'm on the Dolphins over the 49ers this week. So
right,
as long as he's not on that one, I think we're good. Yeah, hit me with the Derrick
Week
Henry.
8. Week 8, Titans versus Texans. We said, all right, this Texans defense is terrible against the run. They're actually historically bad against the run. And Derrick Henry is historically good running the ball.
And Derrick Henry has historically lit them the hell up.
So I'm going to go on $10. I'm going to go on $10 units just to make this easy, right? If you would have put $10 on everything we recommended. So $10 on Derrick Henry to score 2 touchdowns was plus 460. So you put $10 to win 46. We also took him for over 23.5 running attempts at minus 108. $10 won you 926. Then we got the Derrick Henry special, the good old Derrick Henry special, which was in that game, it was 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, plus 1162. You put $10 on it, you won 116.20. I'm only going 100 yards this time, though. I'm taking it a little bit easier because I do trust this Eagles defense a little more than I trust the Texans defense. And I think this is going to be more of a grinded out game where he's not just going to go for, I mean, he had 219 in that game against the Texans. I'm not seeing that. I'm not going to bet on that. I'm fine with 6.5 units here. Or actually, if he hits all this, if he hits the 102, we would be 8 units up on Derrick Henry, almost 9 units up on Derrick Henry on a 2-unit play. So I like it. The backs that have hit 80 plus in a touchdown versus the Eagles so far, you got Zeke, Brian Robinson, and Jonathan Taylor. DeAndre Swift had 100 in a touchdown. Damian Pierce had 150, but he didn't score. Derrick Henry's a scorer. They're going to give him the ball to score. That it's what they do. And here's the thing. I mean, the Eagles defense, they're second in passing yards allowed. Titans 29th in passing yards offensively. They don't want to throw the ball anyway. And this is a terrible matchup for them if they do. They have a great pass rush. Ryan Tannehill is becoming a Matt Ryan statue back there. He's getting older, man. He's on the older side. This is a guy who can move
a little bit, but not like he used
to. That's
what
I'm saying, So he's slowing down is the point here. And a good way to beat the Eagles or stay close at least is to feed your backs and the running game, kill the clock, keep the ball out of that explosive Eagles hands. And so that's what I like. Their weakness is on defense in the run game.
Yeah.
The Eagles.
So I'm going to come back to this one a little later on because I think we have similar to our George Pickens, Christian Kirk 2 touchdowns apiece play. I think there might be an avenue for a Derrick Henry plus someone else 2 touchdown play. I just haven't identified that someone else yet.
So here's the thing, though. We already doubled down on Kirk.
Yeah. Oh,
Do we
don't
want to double down on
Henry,
Derrick
too.
Henry?
Yeah. Yeah. True that.
We
True
can
that.
find two other guys of value for it. I
Yeah. Fair
think.
enough. Fair enough. Well,
And I
stated.
got a touchdown parlay coming too, of course, and all that. So I would probably I'm gonna stick with just this for Derrick Henry. I don't want to put him in anything else and then have him kill us twice. Because we already did that with Kirk, which is probably not a good idea, but I like the pick at that value. I mean, put it like this. We do a quarter unit on Derrick Henry, 2 touchdowns with someone else, and it's plus 11100, whatever that was.
Yeah, 11,100. Yeah.
Then I'm down. All right. Yeah, you got me. All right. We'll do it. We'll risk it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Got to risk it for the biscuit. But Derrick Henry has cashed the 101 touchdown 4 times this season, and he got 2 touchdowns in 3 of those times.
Listen, man.
He also hasn't hit 100 rushing in a month. He's due for a big game, and it's the perfect matchup for it. So
absolutely,
I got Derrick Henry special. We're running it back.
So look, I'm just gonna throw this out there, all right? Because look at our next game on the schedule: Cleveland at the Texans. All right, I'm just saying. I'm just gonna pull it up just to see.
Hey, look, see. I knew you were gonna do this. I got no argument now. I got
plus 1950 plus 1950 for Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb to each get a touchdown.
What is it?
All right, plus 1950. That's not insane like the George, but that's still $5 wins you $100. Look, I'm just saying.
Do it?
I'm just throwing it out there.
What is it? 1950?
Yeah, plus 1950. I'm just saying, like,
quarter unit wins you 5.
The craziest thing is, I hadn't even thought about who they were playing when I was thinking of it because we're locked in on the Philly Tennessee game. But the first name that came to my mind was Nick Chubb because I was like, all right, let's go with 2 like kind of outliers, George Pickens and Christian Kirk.
And then
like,
it just worked out where that was the exact defense we were just talking about.
2 terrible defenses and 2 stud running backs and 2 offenses that are they would love to be able to just run it down your throat all day if they could.
All right, so you want to soup this thing up a little bit, or you want to stick on the 1950 because we could go for 80 yards each and
oh, okay,
really fuck around too, right?
No, yeah. No, so I like that better because then it makes it to where all right, so this thing makes sense now, right? Because now we're not just getting that.
Touchdown each and 80 yards each. I think is a solid look. And to the Browns side, Deshaun Watson, first game, man. We don't know what we're gonna get out of that passing game yet. He's not in rhythm. He couldn't even practice before. Like I think 2 weeks ago, he's been practicing for 2 weeks now, I think.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
If I remember correctly. But we don't know how it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like I see them winning, but I see them favoring the run game if they need to. And that's a big possibility with Deshaun Watson first game back. He hasn't played in 2 years. He hasn't played in 700 plus days.
Right.
In an NFL game.
And he wasn't this precision efficiency quarterback either. He's a big play quarterback. So
I mean he's got Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's a stud. But after that, it's a big drop off. I mean, David Njoku's solid tight end too. He's out though. So he doesn't have him this week. So he's got his backup tight ends. He's got Kareem Hunt out of the backfield. He's got Peoples-Jones and the other receivers. But those aren't guys that are like, I'm getting open right. He doesn't have like Mike Williams, Keenan Allen to rely on it in a situation where it's like my first game in 2 years in 700 days.
Right.
This Texans defense is a good team for him to match up against though. They're bad. So he might have success and he'll be able to get acclimated easily. But I do think that they favor the run game if they need to because he's not in rhythm with these receivers after 2 weeks of practice. For game rhythm, no way.
All right,
no matter who they're playing defense. It's NFL. Either way, these guys are NFL players.
Yeah, don't talk yourself into it too much. Then you end up jinxing it. But I'm just going to throw this out there. So we're at 80 yards plus for each of them. Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry, 2 touchdowns apiece at plus 28.79. That's not nearly as good as I thought it was going to be. I think if this is just me, if it's me, I'm going with that doesn't juice it up enough for me. That only adds $40 to the total winnings on a $5 bet. I'm just going with the touchdowns because I could have Nick Chubb only get 75 yards rushing. And this 2 touchdowns a piece parlay still hits.
All right,
that's at plus 1950. We're only gaining
as much as I would have wanted anyway. So I agree.
If it had put it up to like plus 4,000 or something like that, then I'd be like, okay, now we're talking. But it didn't bump it nearly as much as I thought it would, and that's just too many legs to hit. So, see, I like when we talk ourselves out of something, because then it's like, all right, now I can.
They're both going to go for 150 and 2 touchdowns.
That's fine. We still hit this. We still hit this,
and we hit the Derrick Henry
I
special.
just want to make money.
I know. I'm just fucking around.
So, all right. So let's. So do you have anything else on the Tennessee Philly game or on this Texans Browns game?
Well, like I said, I think we're gonna have to. I think the Eagles are gonna have to resort to some passing game. So, I do have Jalen Hurts passing attempts involved in a parlay later on.
Okay.
Because I think they're gonna have to air out a little more than they usually like to. But it's kind of gonna remind me of the beginning of the season when they were airing it out a little bit more. Miles Sanders really came on a little. Well, they were always playing well, but they were airing it out a little bit in the beginning of the season compared to recently. I think they're gonna have to go back to that with this Tennessee rush defense being so good. So yeah, I got that. I mean, AJ Brown, first game against the Titans. I think they might favor him.
Yeah,
favor him, target him, try to get him the rock. You know, I mean, Sirianni seems like a player's coach. Like, everybody loves him. I'm sure it's game planned into the script for him to get a touchdown in the first drive, if in a perfect world or something like that. Because they script the first 2-3 drives. If they're able to drive down the field, I think that the play is going to AJ Brown when they get to the red zone. I would think. And as I was saying that, there was 11 people here in the chat, so he wears number 11. I'm just saying, Jay Pylon's in the chat. I'm just saying what I'm seeing here. So yeah.
So are you saying AJ Brown first touchdown scorer for plus 750?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna back it, but I'm saying there's a chance.
Saying there's a chance. All right.
Now it's gonna happen. So I just got the clip of me saying it. We won't count it to the record, but I did tell you guys.
Yeah, well, you said you thought they'd get him involved early, and
I mean, I'll put
first shot at a touchdown. So.
I'll put a crazy first touchdown parlay together or something with like a tenth of a unit if you guys want to fuck around for real. Like we'll do Christian Kirk, there, AJ Brown, Nick Chubb, and whoever else we got scoring touchdowns.
There you go. Yeah,
George Pickens. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. So. All right, so
that's all I got really in that game, though. I think it's going to be a really good game, back and forth. I see the over probably hitting just because of how many possessions there's going to be. I think
they're highlighting AJ Brown on game day right now. Like, it's just like all AJ Brown highlights, like back to back to back to back to back.
There it is.
And
AJ Brown first touchdown, lock it in.
It's got 7 touchdowns for AJ Brown this year, 3 for the Titans wide receivers. Boy, they're just crapping all over the Titans receivers. They're just like, look at what they're missing without AJ Brown.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, think about how good the Titans are if they kept AJ Brown.
Bro.
With Treylon Burks on the other side.
Crazy.
They're right. There's one situation. I mean, every once in a while, those guys on TV are right.
All right, so you got anything on this Cleveland Texans game besides Nick Chubb?
Nope. I'm not taking a Deshaun Watson over. I'm not taking a Deshaun Watson under. I'm not taking receivers when I don't know how the quarterback's going to play in terms of rhythm. He hasn't played in 700 days. I'm watching this game to see what we can take advantage of next week.
All right. Anything on Dameon Pierce or no?
I mean, you can go there. I think his yards was like 60, 63-ish range when I was looking. I think that hits. The Browns defense has been absolutely horrible. I'm not betting it though, but yeah, I mean, I that would be where I'm looking. If I'm gonna bet this game, I'm looking at Nick Chubb and Dameon Pierce.
All right, so I'm not saying that you're wrong about Deshaun Watson. Okay, I'm not saying you're wrong at all, but I don't know what it is about this week with the NFL, but like, why is his first game back in 700 days against his former team in Houston? Like, of all the times to bring him back, it's like, hey,
they gave him that long of a suspension to do that. It's marketing,
so they can market this. Exactly,
it's marketing,
right? So I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right. So they got his over passing yards at 237.5. I want to see.
Don't forget Russell Wilson's first game with the Broncos was against the Seahawks, and Joe Flacco started the season against the Ravens this year, and Sam Darnold Baker Mayfield started the season against the Browns. Yeah, they do that. This is how they write their narratives.
Yeah. All right.
We know
So
what it is. It's
you have
marketing. It's money
effectively
making, baby. It's a business.
you have effectively
They said
talked me out of it.
they said I don't care about Deshaun Watson. Doing whatever he may or may not have done. We're just gonna make sure he's back against the
time to play
Texans
his
in Houston for his first game, so that we can market the crap out of that shit all week.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
I
All
mean,
right, so
simple as
I'm
that.
off it. All right,
What were you gonna say though?
I was gonna look at something for his overs, but after you reminded me of all those other guys who played their former teams, I'm like, oh yeah, they all had like average to terrible games. So no, thank you. I'm gonna stay away. Russell Wilson was garbage.
I didn't even consider that part.
I
was just answering your question.
Yeah, but as you were going through it, I was like,
that.
I don't remember a good performance in any of the matchups he just laid out. So I'm gonna stay away.
Flacco got a lot of yards, but they got cooked.
Yeah. All right, so the Commies and the Giants.
Yeah, the Browns for the win. I agree. I'm not saying that Deshaun Watson's going to play bad and it's going to affect how the outcome of the game. I just don't know if they're going to drop him back 30 times tonight. I think they're going to maybe favor Nick Chubb. And why wouldn't you against the Texans? Even, no matter who's at quarterback, if it was Brissett again, and Deshaun wasn't coming back till next week, it's still the same game plan. Run the ball against this Texans defense.
So the game that everyone knew was going to have massive playoff implications at the start of the season, it's the Commanders at the Giants.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Chargers Raiders.
No,
that's another one. But
man, don't do that to Raiders, man. We got family in here. This is a family show.
I've been on them all year, man. Nobody can say anything to me. I've been taking them all year.
But no. So
love you guys. Shout out Raider Nation.
Washington and New York.
They're hanging out with wasted talent right now, anyway.
Right. We got this game. Cranking over here. So the Giants favored dogs at home. 2.5-point dogs at home against the Commanders, who are a completely different team with Taylor Heineke than they were with Carson Wentz. So what do we see here in this game? Do we see some opportunities for the Jay's picking the Commanders? I kind of got to go that way too, but I'm liking the Giants to cover this spread though. I like them at home to keep this game close, and I think they could actually win it outright. I think it's just a matter of how this game script ends up playing out, and can they get off the field on third down and keep the Heineke-led Commies from converting on third downs.
The big thing is how they're able to run block today. Commanders are great up front. They're 8th in the league in rushing yards allowed. Obviously, the Giants are top 5, or actually, I think they're 6th now after last week. They're 6th in rushing yards with Saquon. That's what they feed. So it's up to that. If the Giants are able to take advantage of that matchup, if they're able to get the upper hand on that matchup and Saquon can go for 70, 75, and they're able to open up the passing lanes a little bit through that and play action and Daniel Jones on the keepers and stuff like that, if they're able to get into that game and have success with it against this Washington defense, they win the game. It's going to come down to that run game matchup right there for the Giants offense, because Giants defense, and Washington offense, You know what I mean? They've been having success with Taylor Heineke, but it's a lot of close games. It's a lot of miracles. It's a lot of they're a tipped interception away from losing last week. There's a lot riding on this 6-game win streak for the Commanders, and I kind of feel like it ends today in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and no Chase Young
in New Jersey.
So,
shout out Jersey.
Right. No Chase Young. The 5-week Chase Young is coming back this week saga continues. He still isn't back yet. They've been telling us he's coming back for a month, and he's still not here. But yeah, so the Giants, I think that benefits Daniel Jones and the Giants offense to not have to worry about scheming around an elite pass rusher.
And if you look at the other side of the ball, just to go through, give some numbers behind what I just said. Washington on offense and Giants on defense. 23rd in total yards, 22nd in total yards, 28th in yards per play, Giants defense 27th, 28th in yards per rush, Giants defense 30th, 22nd in yards per completion, Giants defense 26th, 23rd in sacks allowed, Giants don't get any sacks, or 27th in sacks per game. So it's like that whole side of the ball is like just bad on bad matchup right there, where it's like, who's going to just get the upper hand on that? and when it's bad on bad, like, I mean, I favor the Washington in that case because they do have talent. But
Yeah.
I see the Giants tightening up, man. Daboll's a really good coach, and I think he's going to have them ready to play, and they got to get back on track. This is like a must win for them at home.
Yep.
The fans are going to be going crazy. Like I've gone to countless games at MetLife for Giants games. Not so many that are this important though, in the past couple of years. So, yeah, I mean, when it is an important game, the crowd is absolutely electric because I have been to a few of those as well in the past when they were, Super Bowl runs and things like that, where the crowd is just, they're insane. I mean, they're going to be tailgating. They're tailgating, right? I said they're going to be tailgating. I got to remember this game is in like an hour. They've been tailgating 6 a.m.
since 6 a.m. Exactly. Right. Like they ate breakfast. They ate dinner last night. Tailgating.
That's confirmed. Like I got group chats right here talking about it. Like they're there.
Exactly. What do you think about the over? 40.5 seems a little low for this game with as many bad matchups as there are.
Let me double check. I think I might have put that in the teaser. No, I just had the Giants on the spread teased up. Yeah, no, I do agree with that. I think this is an overplay. I didn't lock the teaser in yet, so I actually might switch that up.
Okay.
Remind me that when we get there in a second, because yes, I like that better. I don't know why I overlooked that. I do like this over. It's so low. And if we tease it down by 4 points or something, it's looking way more favorable even. So
yeah, for real. All right, so you got
any props? I don't have any official player props here. Okay. But I would, I would go back to the well with like Terry McLaurin getting some yards. I would go back to Brian Robinson having success here. Antonio Gibson, maybe like an anytime touchdown. He's been getting it either through the air or on the ground. Yeah, I mean, there's a few places you can go. I just didn't. I don't know where it's going to go, so I don't want to cap it or I don't want to play it.
All right. So what do we know about?
I do have the Giants though.
Yeah. I'm liking the Giants too, at least to cover. But I may even like them straight up. I love the commies as much as I can. It's hard, but I do. But I think this week the Giants get it done. So what do you got?
I'll tell you what. I'm looking at this. You know how you mentioned it's going to be about the Giants getting off the field and stuff like that. I'm looking at these third down numbers now. Washington's offense, they're 36.8% third down, and Giants defense, they've been great. They're 7th in the league right now, 36.6% allowed. But it's the same the other way. Giants offense is 19th, and Washington's defense is 4th. So there might be a lot of short drives here, 3 and outs. Maybe we think about that over a little harder. I don't know. I'm just looking at it. So,
okay, all right. So,
what's the thought?
Yep. So Green Bay at Chicago. This is just one of those like, eesh, I got to get away from it. We don't know what either of these teams with their quarterback situations. It's like the game of broken quarterbacks. So we're going to avoid that one. I don't even want to pick a side on this one. It's just disgusting all the way around. The Bears are dogs by 4.5 at home. And Green Bay is just like, it's completely up in the air. We saw it last week. We got burned by an Aaron Rodgers over on yardage that we were this close to hitting a massive parlay, and Aaron Rodgers got taken out.
Hurt, yeah.
And so I'm staying away from it altogether because it's just
one place to go would be Aaron Jones, maybe in the run game. The thing with this game is like, yeah, both quarterbacks are going to play, but how long are they going to play for?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to. Are they going to get? They're out in the first quarter. Like
exactly.
It could go when you know that something is damaged. You don't put a whole bunch of money in it. That's all I'm saying. You take it for what it's worth, and if they're giving you great odds, that's one thing. But yeah. So to your point, Aaron Jones, I'm just going to pull it up real quick, just see what his.
Well, yeah, Aaron Jones or David Montgomery.
Yeah, 58.5 and 66.5 on their yardage. That should tell you all you need to know about what some of their other props are going to look like. So if you want to go there, I'm not going to tell you not to, but I'm not doing it.
If you want to play this game, that's the perfect way to play it because the run game with both quarterbacks being beat up, even if they play the entire games, both teams are going to favor the run game. And if both quarterbacks or one or the other have to leave the game early because of the injuries, then obviously that affects the run game in a positive manner as
Mhm.
well. They'll run the ball more.
Right.
So if you're gonna play it, go David Montgomery, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, maybe, but ain't no way I'm touching this.
Mhm.
There's no point. There's so many games. It's NFL Sunday, man. If this was
Right.
Tuesday,
No bye
maybe
week.
maybe
Yeah.
we got to play it on Tuesday. But come on,
I
man.
know we
There's
got two bye weeks. The
yeah.
Panthers and the Cardinals, and that's it. But
There's so many
it's a
better
wide
games,
open
better
slate.
things to attack. So I'm not playing a game
Mhm.
where both quarterbacks have a very likely scenario of being out of the game by the end of this one. So
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too that I'll say is that this is exactly what we talked about at the top of the show, which is it's that point of the season where the Bears and the Packers are 4-8 and 3-9. Neither one of these teams is playing for making the playoffs anymore. So you can throw all of your assumptions about coaches doing what they think they need to do to win out of the window. A, a lot of what's going on right now is, yes, obviously, as Herm Edwards taught us, you play to win the game, right? But you're also playing to evaluate talent. You're playing to potentially protect guys so that they don't get hurt, so that you can have either some trade chips or some ability to build into the future. It's just not a good setup right here. There's no rationale that you could really place on what your plays are going to be in a game like that. This one, however, is a little bit different. At least one side of the ball is going to be focused on winning and getting into the playoffs, and that is the Seattle Seahawks with Matt Stafford going on IR. The Rams are moving over to what's his name? What's that quarterback's name? Bryce Perkins. That's it. Yes, thank you. I couldn't remember his last name. Anyway, it's we don't even have numbers for him. That's how like up in the air that situation is right now. But
well, I think the
it's
other guy might start too or something. I don't know.
yeah,
It's
that's what I'm saying. We don't know. We don't know yet. But it's you saw what you got from Bryce Perkins last week, and Matthew Stafford's not coming out there, and that wasn't good when he was in there to begin with. So I see Seattle trying to just make sure that they don't screw this up, because this is a win handed to them on a silver platter. They're playing on the road, and they're 6.5-point favorites. I'm staying away from sides in this game because that spread's too high, and I've seen this division do crazy stuff, and you know that Sean McVay is still going to come out there and try to ruin Pete Carroll's life because they hate each other. So it's I could totally see this being ugly, and I'm staying away from that. I would though look at possibly some player props in this game. It may be too much to go back to the Kenneth Walker well again, but I don't know. Like, what did he do last week? He had 26 total yards, and it was on the 2 touchdowns, and he had 0 yards on his other 12 carries combined, with carries of -3, -3, and -13. I don't know how you can end up with a 13 yard backwards. It's just one of those things where like the play breaks down and it blows up in your face. But I think Kenneth Walker could get right yardage wise this week, and he may still be good for a touchdown or two. And then you still have your Geno Smith stuff. So, but do you see anything in this game props wise, or are you staying away from it?
I'm staying away from this game altogether. I do have the Seahawks teased down to a field goal hook at -3 in this tentative
Mm,
teaser, but we're gonna work through that anyway. So that
okay.
was my only thing. I'm not. I don't know if I even trust the Seahawks offense much anymore. They have been shaky
Hmm.
lately, so I need to see some improvements there before I bet. And in a game like this, like if they were playing the Chiefs or something, or a matchup that's more like exciting, and then there's going to be more going on. This game just seems like a dead game. Like all Rams
Yeah.
games have just been like, if you're taking even the other side, it's not going to go pretty, you know?
Hmm. So here's what's crazy, right? We've just gone through like damn near 10 games for the early slate, and we pretty much wanted to take a hot dump on almost all of them because
Yeah.
they're terrible. These 3 games in the afternoon are amazing. I can't wait to see these games. We got the Dolphins at the 49ers, and I'm on the Dolphins in that game, both spread and money line. We got the Chargers and the Raiders. Those two teams hate each other. And look, not for nothing, the Raiders are still mathematically alive. And if they get some stuff going, they actually could sneak their way into the playoffs. It's an outside shot at best, but it's still alive. And the only way you can do it is by getting this done here. Meanwhile, the Chargers are playing for their playoff lives too, trying to keep them alive because they've got to keep winning if they're going to stay in the hunt for one of those wild card spots. They're not going to win the division, but they're going to be in the hunt for the wild card. And then our last matchup of this afternoon slate, it's Kansas City, Cincinnati, a huge matchup with two teams that are, you've got the defending AFC champions in the Bengals, the team that should have been the AFC champions last year, or at least should have been in the hunt for it. It's a rematch of that big AFC championship game last year, and Jamar Chase is back. So there's all kinds of different storylines here with these three games. Let's get into this Miami-San Francisco game first. I love the Dolphins in this spot. You're going to San Francisco, but look, let's face it. San Francisco has been getting it done against some inferior competition the last few weeks while they have been continually getting more and more banged up. And they're still banged up. And that Miami Dolphins offense is still cooking. And I think people are sleeping on this overall Dolphins squad and the quality of team that they have actually built there. It's kind of crazy when you look at what happened to Brian Flores last year after he started off 1-7 and then won 7 out of 8 and finished 500 for the year and got fired for winning, essentially. That now you have this situation where all due respect to the little wonder child, I don't know, he's some kind of like math genius or whatever anyway, it's you've got a really well put together Dolphins team, and San Francisco, I think, is kind of, they're at least bruised right now, if not bloodied. And I like the Dolphins in this one. What do you like here?
This game's going to come down to whether or not Mike McDaniels has a great scheme against and around this pass rush, because the Dolphins' offensive line is not great at pass blocking, but Tua gets rid of the ball really, really fast. So he hasn't been getting sacked anyway. But the San Francisco defense is a different beast, as every team that runs into them knows and finds out, and we know very well. They're 10th. The Dolphins are 10th in not allowing too many sacks because Tua gets the ball out quick. San Francisco is 8th with 3 sacks per game on average. So I'm looking at them to game plan a bunch of quick game action, to not even have to worry about that. Quick action to Hill on a crosser, Waddle on a crosser, Jasicki, the other tight end, I forget his name right now at the moment. I feel like there's going to be a lot of quick game. That's the way to play this game. That's the way to play the 49ers, which would result in a bulk of attempts and completions for Tua in general. And as of last night, I'm going to double check right now, but as of last night, he was plus 100 for over 23.5 passing completions. I'm going to check right now. We don't got any plus 100s anymore.
Minus 102.
Minus 102 is the best we got on the board. So I'll take minus 102. But it was plus 100. I don't love it as much at minus 102, but it's not a huge difference. So I'll take that. On BetMGM or on FanDuel, it is, right?
Yeah, FanDuel.
Minus 102. Cool.
Yep.
He's been he's been either hitting this or right around this number every game, if you don't include the Bills and Cincy games where he was in and out or out and whatnot. He's had 23, 36, 21, 29, 21, 25, 22. So he's always hitting right around here. We know that they want to pass the ball. The third downs, Dolphins offense is 13th on third downs. San Francisco's defense, that's their one weakness, actually. They're 23rd in the league right now in third down conversions allowed, 41.6%. So that's their one weakness. And extended drives equals more plays, more chances for completions. And on the other side, San Francisco is also 6th in third down percentage, and the Dolphins defense is 24th. So it's the same situation on the other side of the ball, which means lots of plays in this game, probably a shootout. So if everybody's extended drives, like if the 49ers are just getting up and down the field, just like the Dolphins are, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to throw the ball, a lot of opportunities for completions. And like we talked about with Trevor Lawrence in his case, like you mentioned, Chad, that means that there's going to be a lot of keeping up with the Joneses, and you might have to put some points up if the 49ers are able to put points up here. But I like the Dolphins here in general too, so I'm with you on that. But I'm taking his 23.5 completions.
All right. I like it. You got anything else?
I have him for 2 touchdowns also in a
Okay,
parlay that's coming
in a
up. But
parlay. All right.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I like the Dolphins pass game. I'm kind of sitting here thinking about I'm thinking about maybe a half unit on the Dolphins money line.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm laying with this. So as y'all know, I've been doing this computer model. I've been doing it for a long time, a couple of decades, damn near at this point. And I for the first time ever, I actually started doing it during the season. Like what I normally would do is at the end of the season, I would do it and I would use it just to pick playoff games and bowl games in college. And this year, I started doing it around like week 5, week 6. And what I've noticed is, so like the dog catcher, as I have labeled it, is now. Let's see. Okay, so it picked another one. So we were. Shit, I didn't even do this. The numbers for last week. It was 3-0 against the spread and 2-1 straight up last week. This is picking underdogs straight up money line. It went 2-1 last week. So overall, for the entire season, this this dog catcher model is now 13-10 straight up. 13 and
Well,
10
that's
straight
not
up.
the whole season.
Well,
We didn't start it
the
the whole
numbers.
season.
No. But I'm saying the part of the season that I've done it, like so
Yeah,
far
so
this
but
season.
don't say the whole
Yeah.
season because that doesn't look.
Well,
Yeah, it's
okay.
only been. You know what I mean?
All
It's only been like 5 weeks
No, it's
or
been
6,
8
7,
weeks.
whatever.
Yeah,
8.
it's
Yeah,
been
there
8
you go.
weeks.
So
Yeah. So,
yeah,
but 13 and 10 straight up underdogs. So, let me tell you that the way that it works is when the computer model says that a team should be the favorite and Vegas says that that team is the underdog, that's when I go with the underdog. Um, in this case, would you believe if I told you that in this game the Dolphins should be favored by 5? Meanwhile, San Francisco's favored by 4.5. So I'm riding with the Dolphins because the Dolphins should be favored in this game. It's a huge swing in the model's favor, and that plus 172. Again, if you're looking at 13-10 over the course of the last 8 weeks, straight up, you've got a way better than 50-50 shot of this. Let's see what we're talking about here. You drop 10. Well, yeah, you're getting 70% juice on in your favor for that. Yeah, that's my pick. I'm riding with it. That's my big one that I really like in this week's games. So I'm riding with the Dolphins
I'm with you.
money line.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so moving right along. This is a big one. Shout out to Raider Nation. Shout out to Wasted Talent and Raider Nation Unlimited. Big Mike Raider, all the fam. Um, the Chargers are dogs in this game, which is kind of crazy if you think about like where this spread probably would have been 3-4 weeks ago. But the Raiders,
They were favorites earlier in the week too.
yeah, the
They got
Raiders
bought
are
into dogs.
starting exactly. So the Raiders are starting to command, a little more scratch in their favor at this point, to where now they're 2.5 point favorites in a home game in division where there's still some playoff implications. And I kind of like the Raiders in this spot. Let's see what the model has, because the model actually had the Chargers favored by 3.5. So actually, this is one where I'm flipping to dog catcher mode on this one. It has become a dog catcher special where I would lean Chargers here. The only thing is, if you look at how the Raiders have played the last few weeks and you throw out those first 7 or 8 weeks when they were playing terribly, I kind of think that like now that number would probably be flipped if I only looked at the last few weeks of performance for these two teams, because the Chargers have actually, I mean, been playing some close games that should have been blowouts and coughed up a loss here or there that should have been a win. So I think these two teams are trending in opposite directions. What do you see here, props wise, and what do you see as your side, if any?
I see the over. I'm still on the over from the early pick
Mm.
show. I'm not playing any props. This game is so wide open, and Chargers and Raiders games just always happen to be wacky. And there's so many playmakers here that anybody can get the ball and anybody can go off.
Hmm.
Me and Big Mike Raider did a full episode on this game though. So if you want to look at some of the props and matchups that we identified, That's all in that episode as well. If you go check that out when we're done here, it's a quick 15, 20-minute episode. Put it on double speed or 1.5, and you'll be done in 10 minutes, But
Right.
yeah, I'm not playing anything officially in this game besides the over.
Okay. All right. So last but not least, we go to the rematch of last year's big playoff game, Chiefs Bengals. 2.5-point spread. The Bengals are dogs at home. I don't know that I necessarily like the Bengals in this spot. The dog catcher says that this is a mild KC pick in this game. So, maybe Cincinnati with the spread, not so much the money line is the play here from a side standpoint. The over-under at 52.5. I know these are some explosive offenses, but I could actually see this thing playing under this number. I just don't. I don't know. Like there's so much expectation that this is just going to be a shootout that I think that this thing is inflated. To be honest,
I hear you. I definitely. I'm not taking the over, so I definitely agree with that. It's a little bit high.
Mhm.
It could be. It could be more of a hard fought game than a lot of people are expecting. I mean, obviously they think it's going to be, a good game, but they think it's going to be a shootout good game. I think it might be more of a defensive thing potentially. But I do see Patty Mahomes having a day. I think I'm riding this revenge factor theory here
Yeah,
of
I
how
feel it.
bad he played in the AFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that game was on him. I mean, I had regulars. This was around the time where we were telling everybody it's the Bengals for the Super Bowl, like going to the Super
I
Bowl,
know, man.
right? So
Yeah.
I'm telling everybody at my bar that I work at, yo, Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. Just put a bet down if you want. If you don't, just remember I told you, whatever, blah blah. Blah.
Right.
I come in the next day after it happens, and they they punch their ticket, and I got all of them saying, yo, it looked like Patty Mahomes was throwing that shit. I was like, don't say I didn't tell you. But he might have been. I don't know. I can only speculate, but what I'm getting at is he did not play well. So I think
So this is a revenge game.
Personal vendetta revenge game here. I think he should be blaming himself for that loss.
Yeah.
Because what did it come down to? A field goal, right? The field goal that they could have had at halftime when he threw the ball inbounds with no timeouts, and after he took a fucking 35-yard sack or something, 40-yard sack to get him out of. Yeah, that game was on him. I think he has a personal vendetta to get his revenge. I got him at plus 136 on FanDuel. I'm going to double check that and make sure it didn't go up or down. But 2.5 touchdowns, over 2.5 touchdowns. So 3 touchdowns from Patty Mahomes.
Oh, okay.
He's good for it. Yep, plus 126 now. Damn, we lost a digit there. But yeah, we're at 126 on FanDuel. Over 2.5 passing touchdowns for Patty Mahomes. That's all I'm playing officially in this game, but I am very excited to watch it. I think it could go either way. It could end up being a shootout, but I agree about your pause for concern on taking the over. So I'm definitely not going there either.
Yeah. So I would normally be on Jamar Chase, but I'm in wait and see mode with him. I got to see. I would look at this and I would say, okay, let's look at these numbers. But I look, hell, the dude's coming out. He hadn't played in like 5 weeks. He's coming back. 70 yards is minus 146. Like, no, thank you. I'm going to wait and make sure that he's 100% healthy and that he's able to come out of his breaks just like he's supposed to, and that he and Burrow are in sync. There's so many different variables that say, like, stay away from Jamar Chase props coming back. And we've talked about the Kansas City offense before. So many weapons. The only thing you can really count on is Travis Kelce and Patty Mahomes. And Kelce is so juiced that it's not even worth trying most of the time, unless you're going to swing for the fences for some, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns kind of play or something like that, and just cross your fingers and hope that he actually pulls it off.
Which he's had a few of in recent times, so I don't think it happens for another couple of weeks, maybe, I mean, that's just my thought process there. I don't want to go too crazy on Kelce. He's been on fire, due for a little regression, maybe. Yeah. Maybe they get some other people involved.
Right. So the final game of the day, Sunday Night Football, Indy goes into Dallas. Big matchup. Everybody's big on the Cowboys. The Cowboys are unbeatable at this point now. Everybody's just they're riding them hard and heavy. 10.5-point favorites against Matt Ryan and the Indianapolis Colts and the new Jeff Saturday coaching style, where we forget how to manage late game situations and cough up a game. I as much as I want to say that this spread is ridiculous, I think that Micah Parsons and that Dallas pass rush is going to obliterate Matt Ryan and his statuesque pocket presence. I just don't see him being able to get anything going in the passing game because he just doesn't have that little X factor that other quarterbacks have. He's older. You saw it in that Pittsburgh game. His inability to move is what cost them the game because they couldn't do anything in the passing game without putting him at risk for getting sacked on every single play. And they just allowed Pittsburgh to load up and stop Jonathan Taylor. So do you see anything in this one? I'm staying away from the sides because that spread's still too much for me, but I'm definitely not picking the Colts to cover it.
This is one you have a ton of time to watch because this game isn't until 8:00, but we do have a show on the channel deep diving into this game, 20 minutes, all about this game with a Cowboys fan who pays attention to the Cowboys. He's also in the media though, so he's not like being biased in his picks. He calls it how he sees it. He has the Colts covering the 10.5, but he thinks the Cowboys probably win. And we went through some player props and stuff like that in that show as well. One thing I really love that I was going to throw out.
Oh, all right. My bad. I thought we were, I was getting
ready
no,
you're
to
good.
My bad.
You're good.
Right,
but,
what you
got? Jake Ferguson, first touchdown was our call for that.
Okay.
So I'll tweet it out, later on so everybody remembers and everything. But yeah, we're looking at Jake Ferguson, I believe was the guy we were looking at. Let me double check. Make sure I remember correctly.
4,000. Gee whiz.
Yeah, okay. 4,700, I think somewhere. I'm double checking right now. It's loading. But and then I'm taking him for an anytime touchdown too. So half and half. I just the first touchdown is just to throw it out there because the number is so good. But his number is so good for a regular touchdown that it's actually worth it to do the half and half in this game. And we know how much Dak loves his receivers. I mean his tight ends. So yeah, so anytime touchdown is plus 1,000 on FanDuel. So you're getting a situation where you can go half and half and make something happen. So I want to throw that out there for everybody listening now, but I'll tweet out the official picks there later tonight. And me and Mike are going to build a little same game parlay to mess around with too. And if all these bets hit, if these Derrick Henry specials and Christian Kirk specials and all that hit, I'm totally throwing a little bit of money on the Colts money line.
Here you go.
I'm just saying. Dude, I think they have a chance. I'm not kidding about that. So I'm either going to look like a genius or a fool, but Colts money line might be a play, man. I'm just saying.
All right.
Might be one of those days again. Okay. But do they have two huge upsets in them? They already did the Chiefs for us.
Yeah, I go back to like, how are they going to keep Matt Ryan upright? But I'm not going to listen.
No, you're right. You're not wrong.
We all have our own reasoning for why we make
not wrong.
We play. Yeah. So use your own judgment, folks, as you know.
Shout out to Hotep Slice. What up, bro? He said, just put my picks in at the sports book. Let's make some dollars today, fellas. Hell yeah. Let's make a lot of them.
All right. So I brought us up to full screen. It's time for you to throw your stuff up.
Parlays going.
Let's get your parlays going.
Oh no, dude, I'm tired of
we're
building bets in.
We're building it online.
I'm tired of putting the bets in and letting you guys get better numbers than me. So we're building them live here. I do have one that I built already, but I didn't I didn't put a picture up though for it.
Okay.
I took this one last night just because the odds came out to 732 plus 732, and that's where I'm from. So I was like, I gotta lock that in now. If by chance that happened. So I was like, let me lock that in in case it changes. But here's a nice play. I like one unit at plus 732. We'll see what it is now as we build it live. Mark Andrews, 40 yards.
All right. So the only thing is it takes me a second here.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't have any picks up already.
It's all good. 40 yards. All right.
Yep.
On it.
Jags Lions over 44.5 in the alternate totals.
Oh, yeah, I got to go alt totals. All right. You suck.
You want to win money or what? No, I'm just kidding.
Let's see what he does
Jersey.
to me.
Thanks. Shout out Steph Curry. We out here.
Totals. All right. Yeah. Okay. All totals. What was it?
44.5. I went with
44.5. Okay.
And then the same number in the Chargers Raiders game, 44.5 over.
All right.
And then Tua for 2 passing touchdowns. over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Are you putting that one in this parlay
Yeah,
too?
I would have took that straight, but it's super juiced up minus 140. I think that hits
Mm-hmm.
for sure. That's probably the easiest one on here. I think. Well, I think they're all good, but
Yeah, because you had his completions in the other one, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
because that was good value. The touchdowns was juiced to minus 150. I'm like,
so what
put that
was
in
it
the parlay.
again? 2.5
1.5 touchdowns.
or one and a
The
half?
passing touchdowns line over.
Oh, okay, minus 140. Okay, yeah.
And then Jalen Hurts over 29.5 passing attempts. We'll see what that gets us to, but it was at 732 last night.
Okay. Sorry, it's taking a minute. I don't know why this thing's going so slow. All right, Jalen Hurts attempts, you said?
Yep.
29.5 minus 114. We are at plus 727. So that jinxes your
I
area
win.
code thing. Oh, you finally got one that won. Okay.
Yeah.
Jersey. Oh shoot. All right. So there you go. You have it. Mark Andrews, 40 yards, over 44.5 total points in the Jags Lions game, over 44.5 in the Chargers Raiders game. Tua, 1.5 plus touchdowns in the Dolphins game, and Jalen Hurts over 29.5 pass attempts for a total of it is dropped again.
Lock it in, guys. Lock it in. Lock it in.
Look at it before it drops again. They're watching the show. They're watching the show.
They're watching. Fuck. They
All
always
right,
get us, bro. I'm gonna start tweeting these out at 12:59,
7 a.m. or something. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right before the game starts.
Shit, man. They got you guys.
Shoot.
I'm at 732. I'm locked in, baby. Shout out to the hood.
All right. So what you got next?
So I got a touchdown parlay here that I'm going to use our $25 free bet from the Thursday same game parlay.
Okay.
So I got Nick Chubb. Wait, I had Nick Chubb in this. I didn't lock this one in yet, but we already took Nick Chubb and other stuff already.
Yeah.
Should we switch it up? Let's take Nick Chubb out of there. Find someone else. So the other two plays were Mark Andrews for a touchdown.
Okay.
And Zonovan Knight for a touchdown for the Jets.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I was like, who the hell is that guy? I don't know. Mark Andrews, anytime.
He just got bumped up off the practice squad, but he's they involved him in the passing game a lot last week. So he has a double chance, either a run game or passing game for a touchdown. I like a double chance anytime.
All right.
And against this Vikings defense.
462. Are we just doing a 2-leg or you got more legs?
No, I had Nick Chubb, but we got to find a different one.
Okay. So
because we already have him for a touchdown, for 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
I don't want to get gypped on that. Or do we still take the one so that if he gets one, we still hit on him or something?
That's what I was saying. Like I like against the Texans, I feel like it's the one that screams the most, and it's only minus 155. The juice is not terrible. That's plus 825 total. What did you have when it was when you had Nick Chubb in there before?
I don't know. I don't even know. I just wrote down the names.
Oh, you just wrote down the names.
I might have had it. Hold on. Check. Plus 7.
Oh, all right. So then we win. In your face.
I didn't lock it in.
I know. All right. So 825.
So we all win.
We all win. Everyone
825
wins.
Now. I'll take that. Yeah, with the risk-free $25 bet. That's what I'm doing at least.
Yeah.
On it, so.
Nick Chubb, Mark Andrews, Zonovan Knight. There you go. 3-leg touchdown parlay for 825 to the positive.
Let's cash it.
All right.
And then I got a. What do you think about this teaser? So this is what I had. I made it last night.
It was at 3.5, 4 points. What was the?
A 4-point teaser at plus 600.
Okay.
Well, it came out to plus 600 with what we had. Titans Eagles over 40.5. These are the tease numbers I'm giving you. So it's Titans Eagles over.
Okay.
It was the Giants to cover. It was the Seahawks to cover, the Dolphins to cover, and the Ravens to cover.
All right, and we are doing 4 plus 600, and that would be Tennessee Philly over 40.5, the Giants plus 6.5, the Seahawks minus 2.5, the Dolphins plus 8.5, and the Ravens minus 5.5.
Oh, let's go. The Giants and Seahawks lines moved a little bit. We were getting the field goal hook on the Seahawks last night on this teaser. All right, yeah. So I kind of like that. I don't know, but do you want to switch the Giants and do you want to switch that to the over instead of the Giants covering? I don't. You kind of got me going there a little bit.
I actually like the Giants to win this game outright today.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, in case. But so yeah, we'll ride with this then. I mean, I'm down. This is what I had mapped out anyway. So
yeah. The only thing I would look at is I'd be tempted to, if there was a way to make the Dolphins like to go the opposite direction to boost the odds.
Well, you could build it yourself.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, I wish there was a way to in a teaser, like, tease it in different directions.
But I'm saying they give you the alternate spreads and alternate totals, so you can tease.
You could tease it to where it ends up even. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I got you. But yeah, that would be the only one that I would do. But then I'd risk hooking myself. I kind of like this strategy where that's the point of doing a teaser anyway, right? Is why would you tease yourself out of money if it doesn't hit the way you expect it to?
Well, you could go the opposite way and then tease it up and make more money, get better odds. I mean, I've done that before.
Yeah.
But
no, I like it.
But yeah, I'll ride with that. And I got a little money line parlay too. I'll throw a unit on. What do you think about this?
All right. Let's see it.
Dolphins, Chargers, Chiefs. 3 legs plus 919.
Wait. All right. So
all Dolphins. Late games.
Okay, it's all the late games. All right. Dolphins, Chargers, Chiefs. Okay. Plus 949. That's what I got.
Wow, let's go. Even better.
Yeah, I like that. All right. I
Roll
dig
with
it.
that.
I dig it. So this is all road games. I mean, all road teams. So you're thinking all the road teams are going to win in the afternoon. All right.
We'll see. I didn't even put that together on purpose, but those are just the teams I'm feeling. So, now that I look at it, it is that.
Well, and I will say this, like to the point about the Raiders that we were making before, as well as they've been playing lately, a lot of that has been on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know, like, it might be that they're actually in a spot where them playing at home is a good thing finally, because now there's Raider Nation is starting to come alive a little bit, and there's some excitement around it. And I think whereas before the last 3 or 4 home games before this little stretch run where they've won a few games, I think the home crowd was probably actually a detriment to them, because the first time Derek Carr throws a pick or throws one over somebody's head or something like that, the boo birds start coming out, and it just is not good for you. So,
all right. So I got one more half unit that I want to spend on this day.
Shit. Here we go. All right.
Let's build a touchdown parlay with a half unit here. Let's build a juicy one. 3 legs with good odds players with a half unit. What are we thinking?
All right. I don't know. Not Derrick Henry, not Nick Chubb, not any of the guys that we've already gone with.
Right.
So yeah, let's
Giants
go.
The Giants game is wide open. We didn't have anything there.
Justin Jefferson against Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's one of those where I think that's, you got 2 very prideful guys. I know I got burned when I did this with Trevon Diggs and Justin Jefferson, and then you had the
I don't mind it though.
The CeeDee Lamb, going up against Minnesota, and I thought they were going to basically be in a shootout, and it did not materialize. Neither one of those teams threw to their star receiver. I could see Justin Jefferson going up against Sauce Gardner and having a day today. Let's see, where else would I go? I would probably look. So AJ Brown, actually, have we gone AJ Brown touchdown?
No,
today?
We didn't play anything with him. We just mentioned him.
So yeah, I'm saying like AJ Brown
plus
is another
125 too. I like that.
Playing against his former team, like that's plus 125. I like that. I'll let you pick the last one.
Pressure's on.
I can't do all the heavy work.
Hey, I did the rest of the heavy work. Oh, let's see. Do we go back? Does Saquon score again? No, he's minus odds anyway. Let's juice this thing up a little bit. Should I go back to Terry McLaurin? He didn't get one last week, but Heineke.
No, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Receivers parlay here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I like the receivers angle of this. Yeah.
A half unit makes you 6. It's plus 1246 on that. So
Yeah. I like that.
all right.
I
So
like it.
JJ,
Justin Jefferson,
AJ,
AJ Brown, JJ,
AJ,
AJ,
and Tay Ray.
and Scary Terry. Yeah. I like it. By the way, shout out to your cousins for coming on the show last week. And
yeah, hell yeah, that was fun. They loved it. It was hilarious when the Eagles missed that first extra point, or that second extra point. We all looked at Summer and we're like, "Oh shit, it's gonna be 999-0 because of that."
It was going to be 1,000 until he missed that.
Until he missed that extra point. You got chipped, Summer.
That's hilarious.
It was great.
Oh, shoot. That's funny. All right. There you have it, folks. If you missed any of these, go back, hit rewind. I know it's an hour
I'll run
45 minutes.
Let me run through it real quick because
there's
only an hour until game time. So I'll run through all the picks real quick for everybody. We got Mark Andrews for 6 catches at plus 150, a half unit, and Mark Andrews for 7 catches plus 290 with a half unit. I know not everybody has Bet 365, but that's the only place you can really ladder that I've found at least. So I'm going on Bet 365 with those numbers. Hopefully you guys can tell that. If not, his regular catches is an option, but it's super juiced up. I would recommend staying away, I guess. I mean, obviously, I think he's going to get 6 or 7. So 5 he should get. It's just it's risky to take something that juiced on a receptions prop. We'll see. We'll see how this goes for me too. Trevor Lawrence over 22.5 pass attempts, minus 110 on BetMGM with 1 unit. Christian Kirk, anytime touchdown, plus 130, 1 unit. 100 yards and a touchdown, plus 540, half unit. 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. If you want to go crazy with another half unit, it's plus 2,000, half a unit to win 10 if that hits. So that would be huge. We got a quarter unit on Pickens and Christian Kirk to have 2 touchdowns, plus 11,100. We got a quarter unit on Derrick Henry to have 2 touchdowns, and Nick Chubb to have 2 touchdowns, plus 1950. We got a half unit on that parlay we just made with Justin Jefferson touchdown, AJ Brown touchdown, Terry McLaurin touchdown, plus 1246. Half unit wins you 6 right there, 6.3. Derrick Henry special here. 100 yards and a touchdown, 1 unit at plus 215. 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 unit at plus 649. Tua over 23.5 pass completions, minus 102 on FanDuel with 1 unit. Patty Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns, plus 126 on FanDuel with 1 unit. We got a 1 unit on this parlay, plus 732, or whatever it ended up being by the time they're done watching us and changing all the odds because they know this shit is cash. Mark Andrews, 40 receiving yards. Jalen Hurts over 29.5 pass attempts. Tua over 1.5 passing touchdowns. The Chargers and Raiders to combine for at least 45 total points. And the Jags and Lions to do the same, combining for at least 45 total points. That's that parlay. Our risk-free, if you took our risk-free same game parlay on Thursday, it did not cash. So we get the $25 free bet that we have to use in a certain time frame. We're going to use it right now here with Nick Chubb for a touchdown, Zonovan Knight for a touchdown, and Mark Andrews for a touchdown. That is plus 825. And then we got a 4-point teaser here at plus 600 with 1 unit. The Titans and Eagles over 40.5 points. The Giants plus 6.5. The Seahawks minus 2.5. The Dolphins plus 8.5. And the Ravens minus 5.5. And then a nice little sweet money line parlay with 1 unit. The Dolphins, Chargers, and Chiefs. All the road teams in the late games to win. Plus 949. That's the plays of the days.
Dig it. I dig it. Y'all know where to be on Sunday morning, right before you go to church. Or I don't know if you went really early right after you get back. But this is the place to be outside of that. But we got you ready to get your bread right. So ride with us throughout the playoffs. We know the season is starting to change. You're starting to see some upheaval in some of these lineups, and then some of these playoff teams are really starting to come together. You're starting to see some guys come back healthy now that have been out for a while, and you need to stay here to stay on top of it because AG's got the parlays, the props and the parlays rocking for you, and we're gonna break it down for you every Sunday. So you know where to be. I got next. Men of Order Sports. We got it. We got you. What are we up, like 45 units or something like that for the season so far?
Pretty much 40. Well, not for the season because we didn't start tracking until like week 7. I mean. So but I'm saying it doesn't sound as good when you say we got 40 units in 13 weeks. We got
Yeah,
40
yeah.
units in
7
6
weeks.
weeks, 5
6
weeks.
weeks.
So
Yeah.
so this is the beginning of the 6th week right
Facts.
now. So we're 41 units in 5 weeks up until today. So yeah. Shout out to Steph Colonel. Shout out to all the homies in the chat. Hotep Slice, Jay Pylon, Naaman Washington. Shout out to everybody. I don't know if I missed anybody. Shout out Humpy. He was here in the beginning. He's probably still listening, maybe. But yeah. Shout out to all the homies in the chat. We appreciate you guys. And let's make some money. Let's cash out today.
Peace, y'all.
Christmas gifts, baby.
That's right.
It's that time of the year.
That's right. Give yourself something. All right. Y'all take it easy. We're out of here.
Peace.